Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there and age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this one is a medical but also a financial topic that we must cover because it impacts my generation and it impacts the generations coming after me. This is Gen X. This is a news article by NBC News that states Gen X millennials face higher risk of 17 cancers than older generations. Now, this is very specific, right? This might lead to a lot of fear, lead to a lot of clicks on their articles, but it's 17 cancers that are higher risk for the Gen X generation. But how many are lower for the Gen X generation? They did not state, right? So it might be 17 that are higher for the Gen X generation, but it might be 50 cancerous substances that are less, right? They did not go into detail about that. Nor did they have the facts to determine why it is that Gen X is more susceptible to these 17 variations of cancer. And by what percentage are they susceptible to this? But needless to say, I'm still going to dive into this just a little bit to see where they're coming from. So NBC News says researchers aren't sure why, but say a combination of factors, including obesity, more sedentary behavior, common medications, or chemical exposure is possible. Now, I don't foresee a lot of chemical exposure, especially more than recent generations. Like, what chemicals are the Gen X getting into that other generations weren't exposed to? But I can see obesity as a factor because as you get older and as you, depending on the things that you eat and what you put into your body, that can lead to a lot of muscle aches, pains, that can lead to clogging of the arteries, your throat, that can lead to a lot of, excess fat, and it can also lead to the inability to heal quickly, as well as the inability to stay or to fight off certain diseases or cancerous viruses. Now, it also says being more sedentary as well. Now, the average human is supposed to take 10,000 steps per day. And we all know, depending on where you live, that 10,000 steps per day isn't common as it used to be, especially in America today. Now, in New York, sure, I used to walk a lot. There was buses, there were trains, and therefore, I wasn't just getting into my car and driving off. No, I would walk to the bus, I would walk to the train, I would walk to wherever it is I was going. Whether it was work, I would have to walk. Whether it was school, I would have to walk. And therefore, there was a lot more walking throughout the day, which did keep me in a better shape. Moving to a different state required less public transportation. In fact, I have never used the public transportation system in the last 4 years that I've been here. And so all of my transportation has been via car, mobile carriers, right? And because of that, in order to get my daily walk, I might walk to the gym. I might walk to the park. I might walk certain trails. Or I might just go to the gym and go on the treadmill like I did today and yesterday as well. And so in order to get those steps now, I have to use alternative methods that are not necessarily natural to me or just natural to humans in general, right? Having to go to the gym in order to walk is a lot different than having somewhere to be and walking as you normally would. And so it is definitely a different mindset But it is important because it keeps me healthy. It keeps my body refreshed. It allows my body to break down certain things and then rebuild itself and be able to fight off certain diseases and viruses that may affect my generation and the generation after me. So with that being said, we'll get into the cost, right? Cancer is something that costs so much money. There are so many treatments, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, certain pills that people are taking these days to fight off these cancerous diseases and viruses. The problem with this is it can actually keep you bedridden. It can keep you away from your job. It can stop you from performing the basic functions that you're normally accustomed to doing and providing for yourself and your family. A lot of the times we see that cancer doesn't have a specific gender that it wants to target. So men and women are susceptible to these viruses that are invading your body and trying to break it down. With that being said, it is very important that financially you should have health insurance. No matter what job you do, health insurance is absolutely important. And the cost of having health insurance in America today is continuing to go up. Now, there are certain companies that pride themselves on the fact that they did not have to increase the rate of their insurance, but they surely are not decreasing it either, right? So you might be able to stay afloat by not increasing it, but you're surely not decreasing it either. And so you got to understand the difference between a deductible, a high deductible plan, and all other plans that are available to you so that you can then identify what it is that you want and what it is that you need, right? So that if an emergency should happen, you're not in a position to where you can't pay, you can't afford to stay, you can't afford to receive treatment. Because a lot of the times, these doctors don't work for free and therefore they just won't operate, which can cost someone their lives. And it's very sad that sometimes it comes to a financial decision on whether someone lives or dies, but essentially that is what it is. This is America, and you know, your life in someone's hands requires them to be paid for you to continue to live. And that's in Africa too, right? Africa, they won't operate on you. They will watch you die until they get paid. So yes, people want to do their jobs. People want to save lives. Personally, would I watch somebody die knowing that I can save them? No. But there are people who are following their rules, their directions, and they are literally watching death every single day happen. And so I say all this to say, we've always had an obesity problem. I don't believe that it's Gen X that is now taking the world by storm with obesity. No, I don't believe that whatsoever. But the sedentary lifestyle might be a problem affecting the younger generation a lot more than previous generations because of the work from home and how viral that went. Everybody wanted a work from home job. Nobody wanted to go into the office setting anymore. Everybody's looking to do something where they don't have to necessarily leave the home. Nobody really wants hybrid. I actually like hybrid a lot. I like going into the office. I like working at home. I would personally not want to work from home every single day of the week. That's just me. I'd either want to be in the office 100% of the time or be working hybrid some of the time. Either way, I feel good with either option. But here's the thing now. With a lot of people, especially women, I would say, wanting these work from home remote jobs and they're willing to take less in order to have that comfort. Yes, it is very disappointing that, you know, the obesity rate is climbing, and you can see that. You can see that in the people who maybe have to do the hybrid schedules, who maybe have to, go out there into society, you ask them what they do, and they tell you. Most of the times, you know, it's just this is something that is controllable, right? You're not set to be a certain way for the rest of your life. If you choose you want to be different. Is it hard? Absolutely. It requires eating a certain way. It requires a lot of physical discipline. It requires not eating 3 to 4 hours before you sleep. It requires a lot of responsibility, a lot of discipline. And a lot of people don't want to be disciplined, right? And, you know, I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong. It's your body, it's your choice. But at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to health and wealth, this does impact you financially eventually, should you not get it under control. And so from a financial aspect, you do want to invest in your health as well, because it is important. How I invest in my health is financially. My gym membership is $10 a month, but then also with my time, which is about an hour, 2 hours a day, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's YouTube, whether it's going to work, whether it's spending time with my relationships, family, girlfriend, whatever it may be, right? You still spend that time to focus on your physical temple, your physical body. And then it's not only just going to the gym. Sometimes it's getting sleep. I am horrible at getting 8 hours of sleep. I'd be happy to get 6.5 most days. I'd be happy, but I know I'm not even going to get 6 hours of sleep most days. And it's absolutely my fault. It's nobody else's fault. So I say all that to say, figure out ways to really start to strengthen that healthy part of your body. Not just fasting on an OMAD diet, but actually taking actionable steps that you can control over a long period of time, such as maybe eating twice a day. I only eat 2 meals a day. I just started eating breakfast again, and I eat lunch right around 4 or 5 o'clock, and that's it for me for the rest of the day. And then another thing is I try and get those steps in. I try and lift or do boxing whenever I can. And so that also helps me to stay in good shape. And then I always finish my day with an ab machine exercise, because before I was doing little crunches. It wasn't giving me the benefit. It wasn't giving me the effect. Putting an extra 60 to 50 pounds on you and doing some ab crunches truly started to bring out the definition in my body, and it started to make me feel as though I was really starting to achieve real results. And because of that, it made me want to do it more and more often. So sometimes a lot of the stuff that we do that we think is working isn't truly working. And when you start to go a little bit harder, a little bit tougher on yourself, you start to see results that will pierce through all of the nonsense that you've been doing for so long. And when I say you, I mean me. And so I started to see, wow, doing 200 crunches is absolutely nothing compared to doing this ab machine and really just digging deep with 70 pounds on my shoulders. And so that was much more powerful than 200 crunches. And I only do about 48 of those. It's like 12 sets of 4 or 14 sets of 4. You do the math. I think that's 48. So if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube and on Rumble, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.